Air pollution consists of chemicals or particles in the atmosphere that pose serious health and environmental threats.
Causes of air pollution include carbon dioxide, methane, and sulfur dioxide.
So, what are your research interests?
Yeah, I work on air pollution and climate change. I'm trained as an engineer, and I work in a field you might call atmospheric science. So I'm interested in how pollutants move through the air from one place to another and what effects they have on climate and on things like human health.
How old were you when you became interested in science, and is there a specific moment that sticks out to you?
It's hard to say. I mean, I think I've always been somewhat curious about the world around us and how things work. I remember in high school I was taking my first physics class, and we were studying Newtonian physics, so motion, and how velocity relates to acceleration and how that relates to position. And I remember thinking that velocity and acceleration were words that I used all the time, but now I actually had a mathematical definition of them, and I thought that that was really pretty neat that we could actually describe these words and concepts using math, and it kind of opened my eyes to what you could do with science and with physics.
So, where did you go to college?
I was a Duke undergraduate. I hate to say that around here. And I was an engineer, so I started engineering because I felt like I was good at math and science and wanted to use it in a way that I thought would be beneficial to the world around us. My interest in climate change and air pollution, or broadly environmental topics, kind of came somewhat later. I was an environmental engineer and interested in environmental topics as an undergrad, but I was an undergrad long enough ago that I don't remember anybody in any class as I was an undergrad talking about climate change. So then I started thinking about what I wanted to do as I graduated and then went straight to graduate school.
What was your first research experience?
So I suppose my first research experience would have been an undergraduate project I did for my senior thesis. I'd also spent a summer actually at Notre Dame in their environmental engineering program, and did research experience there, which was on constructed wetlands and whether they could treat water. So that was interesting, and I ended up doing sketching out a design of what might be a constructed wetland that would I thought might treat water, and I thought that was kind of neat as an engineer.
What challenges have you faced becoming a researcher?
Well, I think you have to prove yourself again and again. You have to go back to the basics and think through a topic again and again. Just because you've done it for one topic doesn't mean that, and for one paper doesn't mean that that you know everything. I think we need to remember that, and I think part of the process of getting a PhD and becoming a researcher is actually learning how little we know about a lot of things. So we might act in class like we know a lot, but in fact in fact we do know a lot. But you grow an appreciation for all the things we don't know very well, and in fact how hard it is to know things. I think going toward a science-related career, my advice would be pay attention in school and do your work and do your best at it. But I think, in some cases you need to look outside of school for inspiration and other experiences. So go out in the woods, take a walk, think about what you see. Think about what you see around you. Why are things the way they are?